Today, we're going to conduct an ethnographic analysis of a stall at the Bungendore Community Markets. But before we get into that, what is ethnography? Well, the definition of ethnography is a scientific description of peoples and cultures with their customs, habits, and mutual differences. But within our context, we are going to look at how the design of the market stall interacts with the values, attitudes, beliefs, and practices, as well as the needs of its intended customer base. We are going to do this by observing the market stall from a distance and watching how customers move through, browse, and select products for purchase within the stall. We will then immerse ourselves within the stall to experience it firsthand. Finally, an interview with a customer will be performed to gain insight into their lived experience, as well as with the vendor to find out what he thinks. The lens through which we will analyse this stall will be Don Norman's emotional design theory. Don Norman suggests that there are 3 levels of emotional design that must be considered for a successful design. These are the visceral level, the behavioural level, and the reflective level. Most designs impact us on a visceral level before anything else. This level is generally a design's first impression on us and includes such as the look, feel, smell, and taste of a product. If a product is visually appealing or tastes fantastic, we are generally drawn to it. The visceral level impacts us on a very emotional level. The behavioural level of emotional design refers to the usability of the product, as well as its function and the performance of the product. In the context of this stall, this includes factors such as how easy the stall itself is to move around, whether the goods it sells are things we have a need or desire for, and whether those goods are of a high quality. Finally, we have the reflective level. This is where our cognition is engaged. If this market stall wants to appeal to us on a reflective level, it must appeal to our self-image and ego, as well as create a positive memory and experience for us while we are shopping. If a design succeeds on all of these levels, it generally causes the customer to feel delight, which is likely to result in either a planned or an impulse purchase. So, on to our market stall. The stall we have chosen today is run by a local farmer. He sells a wide range of products such as fresh produce in the form of vegetables, milk and meat, some wines and cheeses, as well as several condiments like olive oil, vinaigrettes, jams, chutneys and dukkha. He also has a range of non-edible products such as handmade soap, seeds for growing your own heirloom crops, and informational books on permaculture. In order to conduct our ethnographic analysis, a wide range of data was collected. During observations, the general horseshoe layout of the stall was noticed. Along with the much appreciated shade, it was summer after all. It was noted that the vendor sold a wide variety of locally produced goods that would cater to many needs. These goods were consistently branded with a simple 2-colour visually appealing scheme. It was also clear that this was a successful market stall, as there were always customers browsing and frequent purchases being made. During our interview with a customer named Jenny, she remarked that she makes purchases at this stall regularly and that the products are of a very high quality. She mentioned that she appreciated the layout and aesthetics of the stall's displays, as well as the friendly, helpful vendor. She also commented on the fact that new products were often available at this stall, so she was excited about her visit. During our direct experience of the stall, we noticed the smells of both the produce and the nearby food stall, and the pleasing music provided by the small local band that was playing nearby. The stall did indeed have many interesting and unusual products for sale, some of which were completely new to us. We found the shop easy and pleasant to move through, despite the number of customers present, and were definitely made to feel welcome by the vendor. Now, on to our analysis On a visceral level, the space within the stall is pleasant due to the shade provided by the gazebo, making the area much cooler than the surrounding area. The smells of the nearby food stall combined well with the aromas of various herbs, spices and vinegars alongside the vendors' offered samples. This and the presence of a local band created a viscerally pleasurable and arousing experience whilst shopping at the stall. The design and layout of the products was also aesthetically pleasing. The fresh produce was displayed in clear ice boxes to prevent wilting, and when moving towards the condiments section, there were many different flavours, mixtures and variations of produce crowded together, which research shows increases the likelihood of a purchase being made. The packaging was decorated with a simple contrasting colour scheme that made sure it was both eye-catching and pleasant to look at. There was some decoration around the stall in the form of baskets, hanging aprons and rustic wooden shelves that created a sense of nostalgia in the customer, once again appealing on a visceral level. On a behavioural level, the location of the stall was well chosen. The stall faces the central square of the market and is positioned in front of a popular food stall, so customers would need to pass it in order to purchase food, which is definitely improving the stall's functionality and performance in the eyes of the vendor. The stall also caters to the many different needs of a potential customer, meaning its usability and functionally is behaviourally pleasurable. These products are packaged into reasonable sizes to improve both value and usability, and were supported by the helpful recipe suggestions from the vendor. The layout of the stall is designed on a behavioural level to draw the customer into either the fresh produce section or the condiments section before funneling them towards the other section, increasing the likelihood of an additional impulse purchase. The central table acted as a useful divider between these entrances, as well as providing an opportunity to display more products such as informative books and wines, so even customers waiting to enter the stall have the opportunity to engage. In this way, the layout serves both the needs of the customer and the vendor by aiding them in achieving their goals. The vendor offered samples provided proof that the products being sold were in fact of a high quality and desirable for purchase. This once again appeals to the customer on a behavioural level, as it shows that the functionality of the product is high. The idea of fresh, locally sourced produce is already likely to appeal to customers on a reflective level, so this stall already has a head start. Many of the products sold are healthy and sustainably grown in the local area and harvested, which appeals to a customer's personal values and beliefs. The designer of the stall makes sure to capitalize on this fact by engaging customers regularly and describing the processes he used in harvesting and creating the products, as well as favorably comparing them to less sustainable and lower quality alternatives. This appeals to the customer's self-image and personal values. It also serves to build a personal connection and rapport between the vendor and the customer, making the customer feel as though they are part of a community rather than simply shopping at a market. The overall shopping experience at this stall is memorable in a positive way and creates more of a story attached to the customer's purchases than simply shopping at a local grocery store. So, despite being less convenient to access than, say, the local Woolworths, this stall is still likely to influence customers to return. Overall, it is unsurprising that this stall is highly successful within the Bungendore Community Market. It appeals to the customer on a visceral, behavioural and reflective level, which results in feelings of delight, as can be clearly seen by the high number of customers making a purchase. We certainly did.